All right, hello. This is the second day of reviewing for the Chapter 11 test. Just looking up some memes, not gonna lie. This wasted about 5 minutes of my life here, but I like memes quite a bit. So it is not actually test today, it's just review day. But the test is coming up likely tomorrow. I guess it depends maybe on when I'm shooting this video and stuff. But yeah, Chapter 11 test is coming soon. This test has a lot of different stuff on it. I don't think individually much of this is all that difficult, but it's just so much thrown onto one test. So here's roughly a guide of everything that's on there, and the 2 days of review, we should be covering pretty much all of this. So hopefully you'll be ready to rock after today. Okay, so this is kind of a first question. Normally I do it warm up in class. So this is an OR probability. And we definitely did a formula in class where it was like the for an or, this one can be either a green or a dress shirt. So you can do like the probability of green plus the probability of dress minus the overlap or any ones that got counted twice. Sorry, my thing is not writing great. Looks like again today. But minus the overlap, or you can kind of just do what makes sense. So I'll do it both ways, and you can do however you want on the test. So green, I just have to count up the total green ones. So I think there's 9 green ones out of 8, 10, 14 total, I think, if I'm adding that up right. Okay, and then dress shirts. Let's see, so those are polo, black polo. Here's a dress shirt. Here's more dress shirts, so that'd be 6 out of the 14 are dress shirts. So right now I've got over 100%, right? I've got, if I added these together, that'd be 15 out of 14. So that'd be over 100%, which doesn't make sense as a probability here. But then there's an overlap. So the green dress shirts, these 4 got counted twice. So I'm going to subtract those off because they got counted twice. So now we're at 15 minus 4, so I'd have 11/14 chance of getting a green or a dress shirt. Okay, the approach that I would do is what I call common sense approach. I don't know if that's an accurate description or not, but I would just say, okay, there's 14 shirts total, and I would just go through and circle any ones that are green or dress. So these ones aren't, but these are green, so they count. These are dress shirts, so they count. And then these ones are green and dress shirts, so they obviously count. So if you add all those together, you get 11 out of 14. Okay, and come test time, you can do it either way. That would be my recommendation, or you can do the formula. Okay, so yogurt shop, 3 different yogurt flavors and 12 different toppings. How many are for a single serving? How many choices are possible for a single serving of frozen and a 1 topping? Pause the video and give this one a shot. Okay, so this one isn't permutation to combinations because we have 2 categories. We have flavors and toppings, and we're picking one of each. So when you pick your flavor, you have 3 choices, and when you pick your topping, you're only picking one of them, so you have 12 choices, and you just multiply those together, gets you 36. And your hint there is that's the counting principle because there's multiple categories, 2 categories. Okay, and as always, I would encourage you to pause the video first and try all these before watching my solution. Okay, so a couple ways to do this. This is only one category, just songs, and you have 12 to pick from, and you have to pick all 12. All right, and you are they're arranging them, so like the order does matter here. So this would be 12P12. All right. The other route you could go actually here is when you pick the first song, you've got 12 choices. When you pick the next song, you've got 11. When the next song, you've got 10 left to pick from. And the next song would be 9, dot, 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 dot. And so you could also just do 12 factorial on your calculator, and that'll get you the right answer. Okay, and just to show you where those buttons are, if you're doing permutations, you do math, do the 12 first, then go over to probability, hit the permutations, and 12. Okay, and if you're doing 12 factorial, you do 12 and then math, and then it's in the same menu under probability. Number 4 is factorial. To make sure you type the 12 first and you get the same answer. Okay, so quite a few here. There's a ton of different ways to arrange it. All right, chess competition. Prizes are awarded for first, second, third, and fourth place. How many different ways are there for 8 people to finish? And you can assume here that you're going to get different prizes for being, like maybe there's monetary prizes and you get more the higher you place. Okay, so we're picking 8 out of 4 people, one category, and I would say the order does matter here because you want to be first, not last, right? Especially if you're getting more money. So this would be permutations again, 8, math, permutations, 4. All right. So again, pause the video, give it a shot. 60 times, you're getting heads 27. What is experimental probability? All right, so theoretical probability is, in theory, the most common result would be you get 30 out of 60 heads, but experimentally we got a little bit less than that. We got 27 out of 60, so we kind of got unlucky. So that's our answer. Obviously, it doesn't match any, so we just got to reduce it. And if you divide by 3, I think you get 9/20ths. And so that is our chance, or the experimental probability that we got ahead was 9 out of 20, a little bit less than 50%. All right, next up, just keep pausing and giving it a shot. This one is a OR probability. Okay, so you can do the formula or just do what makes sense. In this case, there are 12 possible marbles, and the red ones are 5, and the blue ones are 3, so that'd be 8 out of 12. And then just remember to reduce it. That reduces to 2/3 if you divide both of those by 4. Okay, if you did the formula, it would be the probability of red plus probability of blue minus the overlap. So it'd be probability of red plus probability of blue minus the overlap. The only issue here or distinction here is there's no overlap, right? Because there are none that are both red and blue. So the overlap is pretty easy. That's just 0. And then your red ones would be the 5 out of 12, and your blue ones would be 3 out of 12, and that's how you get to your 8/12 answer, or 2/3. All right, independent events, and we're doing an and probability. Pause the video, give it a shot. It's really important that you try to remember how to do them. Don't just watch. That process of trying to remember, that's what essentially the test will be, is trying to remember how to do something. So hopefully you've had a chance to try it. And in this particular one, an and probability, you're just going to multiply them together. So multiply those two probabilities, and we should get something that should be a little bit less than 4%, I think. So I'm going to guess it's this one, but maybe we should do it on the calculator just to be safe. 41% times 9%. Okay, so you get a little bit less than 4% chance. So, and you just multiply the two together. All right, this is actually true here. My mother-in-law does buy me clothes now, and she believes she's more stylish than me, so she just wants to pick out the things I wear. It's a little bit embarrassing, but anyways, so select it at random. What is the probability that both pants and shirts are stylish? So pause the video and think this through. Okay, so this is an and. Okay, and so the chance that the pants are stylish by themselves, right, just the pants, is only 1 out of 4. Okay, as far as my shirts go, sorry for the poor handwriting there. I'm struggling to write on this thing. There's 9 out of 16 that are stylish, right? So 9 out of 16 shirts, and so then if they have to both be stylish, I'm just going to multiply those two together. That will give me 9 out of 64 chance that both are stylish. So again, on an and, you just multiply them together, and you generally get a probability that's lower than what you started with, because it has to be this and this. That's less likely to happen. Okay, so as you can see, there's very little shot that I will end up stylish. Okay, again, pause the video, give this one a shot. Okay, so this one is the or probability because it's glasses or is uncool. And so again, you can do the formula. You do glasses plus uncool minus the overlap, But to me, the easier route is just to like take the total number of students here, which I think is 18 if you add them all up, and then just look at which ones are glasses or uncool. So these first 5 were glasses, so they count. This next 5 are cool and do not wear glasses, so they do not count. Next one is uncool, so they count. And the next one is uncool also, and so they will also count, right? So it's just 5 plus 4 plus 4, which is 13. Okay, so that is our OR probability. So you can do the formula again if you want, but I would just do what makes sense. Okay, mean, median, mode. Just a quick review of how to do that. Okay, and so your trick here, mean, median, mode, and box and whisker, all you do is do it on the calculator. So basically, you're going to go into here and you're going to hit stat and you're going to enter them first. So I have to hit stat, edit number 1, and then I'm going to enter them all in. If you've got data in there already, I recommend going up to highlight L1, hit clear, and enter. Okay, and as much as you can, try to use L1 on your calculator. If L1 doesn't show up, then maybe reach out to your teacher and see if they can help you. So I'm just going to enter all these in quick. All right, once you have them entered, I'm going to hit stat again and go over to calculate this time, and we're just doing one variable statistics. Your calculator might look a little different here if you have an 83, but basically, as long as you're in list 1 there, you should be okay. Just hit enter a bunch of times, okay, and it'll spit out the data. Our mean is X bar, and then the median and all the stuff you need for box and whiskers are down here. So here's your median, and then here's your 5 numbers for your box and whiskers, right? If you have to do that on a question. So 9.8 and 12 are the median. So 9.8 and 12. So I think the only one that even has that is this one. This one's no good. Okay. And then the mode, you just kind of got to look, right? The calculator doesn't tell you mode, but here the mode of 15 makes sense because that seems to be the most frequently occurring element. So the mode you just kind of have to look at. There's no feature on the calculator that does that. Okay, find the outlier. Pause the video. Okay, so outlier is just the one that's far away from all the rest of the data. So if you look at these, they're probably clustered around like 15 or so. We could actually do the mean on our calculator if you really wanted, but the one that I think is far away, most far away from the normal ones is the 37, right? And on the test, you don't have to do any formulas here. Just do what makes sense, I guess. The one that's just test what is an outlier, which means it's far away from the rest of them. Okay, so box and whisker plot. To do this, probably the hardest part is just going to be entering them all. So you just enter them in the calculator and then get those 5 number summary from here, right? So it'd be right there. I'm probably going to skip over this one just because I'm running out of time. But if you want to try it quick, and then you can test against the answer. I'll show you the right answer and see if you can actually get the right answer. So pause the video if you want to try it, enter them in your calculator. Okay, so if you want to check your work here, it should be letter C. I just entered them all in, did one variable statistics, and the min max were 48 and 68, so that looks right there. And then our quartiles go 53.5, 58, and 63. So looking at the data, that seems to match up. Okay, so Mountain Dew, which I find delicious, I'm not going to lie. But the mean can of Mountain Dew is 12 ounces. That's what it should be. You know what most Mountain Dew cans are, but you have a standard deviation of 1/10 of an ounce. The factory only ships cans that have over 11.9 ounces of Mountain Dew. What percent actually ship? Okay, so you're going to draw your standard deviation curve. Look at how beautiful that is. And then figure out the percentages from there. So pause the video, give it a shot. Try to make a little better line for you here. All right, so normal curve, I would definitely sketch it out the best I can here. So the mean is right in the middle. That is the 12 ounces. Okay, and then each standard deviation is 1/10 of an ounce. So this would be 11.9 and this would be 12.1 up here. All right, and I've kind of run out of time, so I'm gonna have to finish this one in a second video. Sorry about that. But check out the next video to see the final solution to this one. It should be 84% if you're